The edge cut. This is the typical masonry from Herod's time. Beautiful masonry. That this has been reused by the Muslims when they built the Umayyad palace over here.
I don't want them to miss this.
They're too slow. Well, we came down to the street level, the Herodian street that was built here. And that street is a connection to the all the way that goes down to the Siloam pool. You understand? There was a way that goes all the way down that pilgrims could come over here. Now, the corner of the Temple Mount, when existed a temple, it was actually used for the trumpets in the old times. And a piece of that was found here among the destruction of the temple by the Romans. This is a replica of the real one. The real one is in the museum in Jerusalem. And there is an inscription here to the place of trumpeting. And we believe that actually that the trumpets were actually announcing the holidays in New Year and others right at the corner of the temple over there. Now, this is from this corner of the Temple Mount. The other corner is something which is mentioned in the Bible as the pinnacle. Remember? What happened in the pinnacle?
Temptation.
Exactly. Where Satan he wants to convince Jesus to follow him, to jump off, and he wants to promise him everything. But of course, that Jesus was not tempted to Satan. Over here, we can see actually the paved street. But look what's happening to the paved street. The paved street is bending down because they demolished the upper part. The Romans did not destroy the Temple Mount; they destroyed the temple. The temple was actually the symbol of the Jewish faith. The symbol of the Jewish faith. Over here used to be an arch. And that arch that used to be here, you can see here the illustration of the arch over here. The arch was, please go ahead. The arch was actually discovered by a scholar, a British scholar named Robinson. That's why it's named after here, Robinson Arch, that we see over here, the beginning of the arch from the Temple Mount. As I told you, all the smooth stone that you see over here, which they are actually very nice cut at the edge. This is the Herodian masonry over here. One of the stones, this is interesting, come over here. Oh, today it's a perfect day. I can see it very bright. There is an inscription in Hebrew over there. And that inscription in Hebrew, this is an inscription actually, at the beginning it's from Isaiah, all right? It was probably written or engraved by a pilgrim over here later on, after the destruction of the temple, all right? And you shall see, and your heart shall rejoice, and their bones like grass shall. Well, this is actually a part of the vision of the prophecy of Isaiah. Now, before they have the oath, they're doing exactly what you're doing, guys. They're studying Jerusalem. You have to understand, we believe that a good soldier is not only trained to hold his weapon, to be the expert on the weapon. You have to be with a love and passion and understanding the history of your country. Know what you're fighting for. Giving them value. All right. Let's go. Please follow me. That's the women's side. All right. We all here? Good. So let me explain you where we are and what's going on here. This is actually in front of you is a part of the Temple Mount. You see the umbrellas, the white umbrellas over here for shade? About the height of the umbrella, this is the remains, the genuine remains from the Temple Mount. Now the Temple Mount remains goes down deep in the soil that we're going to see later on. First of all, you understand that that we don't adore the stones. We pray for God. This was the house of God right here behind you. This was also the place that 4,000 years ago God challenged Abraham. Is he ready to sacrifice his son Isaac? He was ready to do it, but he sacrificed the ram. The final alliance between Abraham and God was right behind this place, Mount Moriah. This is Mount Moriah in the Bible, right here behind. David, bring the Ark of Covenant to Mount Moriah. Solomon built the first temple on top of Mount Moriah. That's the temple that was destroyed by the Babylonians. All right? So, it's very important here, the priest. Wrapped his right arm with a string, a little box in his forehead, and inside there is a prayer. Shema, hear my people Israel. But those are objects to remind you actually to pray. Cover with a scarf, with a talit. What is the meaning of a talit? And I'll cover you with my presence. What is the meaning of the man that he have those strings coming out under his shirts? When you go over there, you're going to see people, sometimes they are moving a little bit. The men, also women. What is the meaning of that? It's the concentration in prayer. People are coming here and pray. They touch the wall, they pray. Some of them put notes over here. It's very personal. To remember, to remind you the laws, to remind you the Ark of Covenant. That's the thing over here. The old symbols. Every morning, a young man, since the age of 13, since his bar mitzvah. What is the word bar mitzvah? Bar mitzvah. He have the right, he have a private relation with God from that time. That's the thing. He have the right to read the scriptures in front of the crowd for the first time. He have the right to do it. But that right is not to forget his God, not to forget his roots. We're good? Okay, so move the curtain and come in. Look over here. This is Mount Moriah. That's what I'm talking about. Okay? It's a natural mount, not very high, but a natural mount over here. This is the Kidron Valley. This is the city of David, right here. Right here. Herod, what he did, he covered the ruins of the ancient temple.
Other way.
Yes.
Thank you, Jackson.
Okay, fine. Okay. All right. This is actually the base of the temple. All right, the Temple Mount. And this is the Holy of Holiness, like that. Now, let's play a little bit. Excuse me. I need to do the screen.
There we go.
All right. That's the way the temple looks like. This is the Western Wall. This is Robinson Arch. This is a bridge over here, another gate over here, okay? Wilson Arch. So we have two actually arches over here. This was connecting to what we call the upper city or the western city over here. Look at this. This is the street level that we saw bended after the demolishing actually the Temple Mount. We follow the street over here. We're coming till the edge, almost till the edge. Herod stopped the work because he died. That's a new system over here. All right. Okay, this is actually over here. We can see actually the structure of the Temple Mount above. A picture from the above. Over here, which gate it is? The Eastern Gate, the Golden Gate over here. You're going to see it. And what do we have here is the Holy of Holies is inside. And we have here the court of the high priest and the four corners actually of the sacrifice that the people will bring the sacrifice. And the destruction. Look at this. Nothing left from the temple, only the Temple Mount. A real destruction. All right? So what are we going to do now? I'm going to take you all the way down here, and we're going to be able to walk almost at street level under the Muslim quarter over here, all the way till here. All the length of this, more than 1,000 feet length. You understand? On the underground. All right? Let's go. Please follow me, everybody. We're going this way, on the left, over here. Okay. So everybody understood actually what we're going to do. We're going to walk almost the street level that existed in the Herodian period in Jesus' time. Now, I told you in Jesus' time was a second combination of arches, not the Robinson Arch, but the Wilson Arch. Another scholar that discovered an arch, and actually there was a bridge connecting between the Temple Mount and between the upper city, the western city. It's not this one, but it was like this, actually a combination of arches that supported actually the Temple Mount. This is built a little bit later. It was much bigger, actually, the arch from the Roman time. Okay? To look at this stone over here. This stone over here is a single stone among many stones that actually the building of the wall that support actually the temple from the Temple Mount. Those holes were actually to put beams inside and to move to adjust the stone to the other structures, like we can see it over here. Now, you can see here the smaller stone with the edge cut, the Herodian masonry. What's amazing that actually the masonry and the way of construction over here is built like a pyramid. With if you look carefully, you can see there is a light angle going inside. It's inclining. This is the strongest way to build like this, like a pyramid, to avoid any collapse. You understand? Now, if 370 ton, one single stone. When we walk over here, we're going to be the closest possible in an angle to the Holy of Holiness. There's always people praying over there, women, and so respect the place. It was here actually a small hole, and that gate was actually a small synagogue in the old times. All right. We're walking through the tunnel that will follow actually the Temple Mount till we're going to reach the street level. Here there is a transparent floor. You can see also the remains of the destruction of the Romans when the pieces of the upper part they fall down. Suddenly we see the bedrock. Now the bedrock exists, but the bedrock of Jerusalem is not going straight. It's going in an angle. Then first they build the stone straight, and then they have to adjust the stone on the bedrock. You understand? All right, this is what we've seen on the way to here. Now, what I want to say also is actually that this is about the edge of the street level that Herod reached. We can see the pillars, and there was a street level right here. Now the street level also is going from the way down and up over here. He almost finished the work and he died. Next to the street level, on the other side, was a sewage system. And then was another street on the other side. Okay, so we have a combination. My friends, this is a very, very complicated complex to build today, and especially in the old times, to adjust the flow of the sewage out of the city. Now, I want you to look down below over here. This is actually a sample of a quarry. Jerusalem, the whole areas, every area is like a huge quarry, actually, and we can see how they chiseled and they cut the stones and they removed the stones from the solid rock over here. Now, we found many quarries in Jerusalem. One of the things that we're not missing in the country is limestone. Look at the screen. Look at the screen here. I'm going to move it so you can see. Look at the cranes, the pulley system. Look how they're moving the stone, sliding it. We have seen a sample of this when we've been in Beit Shan. The pulley to multiply the strength. and finally chiseling and creating the edge cut, which is the symbol of the Herodian style of masonry in the excavation to remove the soil actually from the street level and to create actually the tunnel. So from now on, you're going to see actually another part, which is actually the Hasmonean water channel that carried water to the temple and to the city. We have to understand that one of the biggest problems of Jerusalem is water. Only one little spring, you will see it later on, a good spring, but one spring. Then you have to collect the water in the winter time from the altitudes in water system and to channel them finally to the needs of Jerusalem. The biggest work was done by Herod. He actually channeled water all the way from the Hebronese mountain after Bethlehem. There is an area with springs and so on, and he channeled water all the way to Jerusalem to support the extension of the city that grew up. But the temple demands a huge amount of water to wash, to clean up all the sacrifice that used to be here, the blood and the animals and so on. Let's go and see it.
As I typed it, I thought I heard Herodian. I typed it in.
Amazing, huh? You're thinking about engineering today, and you're thinking about engineering in more than 2,000 years ago.
This is the bedroom.
This was. So where are we now? Who else is behind? I want you to look at the pools over here. Those are actually built in the Roman time. When Hadrian Caesar, in the 2nd century, that he actually rebuilt the city, and he built the city of Ilia Capitolina, the Roman city above the structure of Jerusalem. And there was a fortress here nearby. We're going out, we're going to be at the Via Dolorosa, the way of the cross. And the Antonia fortress that was right here at the edge of the Temple Mount probably was the place of the trial place of Jesus. You understand? And the moat actually of the fortress was reused, some parts of the moat, to be actually water cisterns like this one over here. Over here. We're going to be in the Sister of Zion convent underneath